Peace up, A-Town. Yeah! Okay! Usher. Lil Jon! Yeah!
That's about awful as it could get.
Oh my god, it's a 4-2-5 defense. All you gotta do is blitz more. All they gotta do is fire Eric Glenn, and then they can start winning again. They're so stupid.
Put me in, coach. I knew we could have won state, man. I know I came in a little bit overweight, but I'm going to do much better next time. One pride, let's go. Woo! You like that? You like that? The champ is here.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Good,
The best part of that is that it's Kaminsky, the very not the guy that would ever say that.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Here's the thing, though. What I've been doing is 3:30 every morning. That's I get up and I do my sprints. Yeah, I mean, those are prime sprinting hours. People don't realize. And that's how I know I'm succeeding, is if I'm doing my sprints while everyone else is asleep. It's a winning mindset is what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabenda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's that time. We're feeling good. That slide. Yeah. Look at that Brian Branch, 23 mile an hour, running it back. Good afternoon, Chad and Dwayne. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all. It is Monday. And it is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. I am your host, along with my compadre today, which is Main Event Mike. Welcome to the program, Main Event Mike.
Say hello to my little friend.
Thank you, Russ. Sorry I'm late. I was busy. I was in a scuffle with Cam Newton.
Very, very nice, Mike, and it's good to see you. We're broadcasting live today into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We just crossed over 46,000 villains. We appreciate everybody that are following, liking, sharing this content, and more importantly, being part of the conversation. And we're going to get a little bit more into that today. We're also broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news podcast, as well as our YouTube channel. And we appreciate anybody that follows us and loves the stuff that we do. And if you're not a football fan, you're probably really not going to like us too much, because that's what we do. 365 days a year, we are putting up football content into our page right there. And that's where our conversations begin right here. And today wasn't the first day of the scouting combine, but everybody arrived at the scouting combine. It officially starts tomorrow. If I'm looking at this correctly right here. Yes, February 27th. It's the 26th right now. So everybody arrived, and Brad Holmes said a little piece while he was up there, some of the things that he was looking for. Any takeaways from what he had said this morning?
Yeah, actually, if you read between the lines, this is just my interpretation. He said that free agency is where you fill a need. The draft, you don't reach for a need in the draft, or you're going to miss the best player. So like Brad Holmes always said, we don't draft position, we draft football players. That's what he always says, right? So
yeah.
But he gave us a little bit more insight this morning on a local Detroit radio show, saying that he views free agency as a place where to fill holes. And he said mock drafts are a product of recency bias. So yeah, definitely solidifying what we already knew about Brad Holmes, that he's not really looking at positional in the draft. He wants the best players in his team that can upgrade his roster. But he does value free agency as a hole plugger. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, and I love when he speaks, because you can kind of read between the lines with some of the stuff that he was saying. And, you know, people always talk about these positions of need. And so if you ask anybody on planet Earth, they would say, you know, cornerback, you know, defensive lineman, that's what we need. And he did kind of double down on that when he was talking this morning, and saying that that's not really the top priority, because you're trying to look for these. It's a work ethic kind of thing from what I can see. Like these types of guys, you know, the captains, they were 3-year captains. These were like a whole bunch of leaders all put into a room. So if you go start filling needs, then you may miss out on one of these types of players. And I love that. I love the fact that he goes after that. And all 23 of Brad Holmes' draft picks are still with the team. And I think that's important. And we saw something the other day that we had put up a post into the Villain Squad where I think it was something like 23% of Brad Holmes' draft picks are Pro Bowl players.
It's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's absurd.
And it's because of these types of players. It's like coachable players. I think that's part of it. Like guys that aren't already on the mentality like they're all that. Like there's this ceiling that they're trying to, you know, break through this glass ceiling and go even further. You know, how good can I get? These work hard guys like Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, you know that the product known as Aiden Hutchinson over the course of a 5-year period, he's going to incrementally get better every single year, because that's who he is, right? He's always building to, you know, shine up that diamond, you know, cut off all the rough edges. And I love that about the players that he's picking. So he may not pick the best pro ready guy that's ready to step right in and do things, but he may pick a guy that 3 years later, like a Derek Barnes or Ifatu Melifanu, are all of a sudden gonna understand, you know, what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. And there is a common thread to these kind of players that he's drafting. These are all they're team captains, right? They're high IQ, high football IQ guys, and he's filling the locker room with the same personality traits. He's developing an entire team full of leaders. How amazing is that?
Yeah, I think it's an important part to building a championship culture. Hello to Dwayne. Hello to Scott Bivens. Hello to Scotty Reno says, hello,
Scotty
everybody.
Reno.
Don't forget to hit that like button. I like it when they say it.
Is your headphone on backwards on purpose?
It is, because Hunter's over here, and I think he can kind of hear.
Oh,
it's
just weird. I keep looking at it. It's weird.
Okay, I can flip it.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
It's all good. I think you can hear it anyway. Can you hear it either way? I'm good. Yeah.
Tell Hunter to go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. Oh gosh. Oh, this is beautiful though. This is a beautiful thing. Chad has a question in here, and my Google Chrome came up right in front of it. Hold on, let me turn off these notifications. Get out of there. Is Goff getting an extension or not? I'm hearing conflicting answers on that. Well, we don't know. Nobody's knows either way, Chad. I think that they should extend him, but there's also a benefit, and I wanted to bring that up today, Mike. Do you want to comment on that?
I do actually.
Yes, go ahead.
If you watch this network, you'll know that our good friend Jeremy Ballreich does a show every day at 11 a.m. on this network. And Jeremy reported that Jeremy Risdon, who's a Lions insider, gets it from a very reliable source that the Lions will not extend Jared Goff this year. And that makes a lot of sense. They don't have to. Why would they? To reward him? Reward him for what? Doing his job? No, I mean, if you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I'd say, yeah, they got to extend him. I'm not so sure now, Russ. It's very possible that they don't. They have him under contract, a very reasonable number that the Lions can work with. I'm leaning towards they will not extend him based on Jeremy Risdon, who is somebody that kind of what we consider a trusted source. So it doesn't make sense. You would ask yourself, they have all these other people they have to sign, and they're in no hurry to get it done. Let's see how the offseason shakes out. If they want to extend Goff before the deadline, they can do so.
My only kind, and I feel a little bit irresponsible because I should have showed the other side, because to me, I'm not one way or the other on this. Actually, Brad Holmes should get a lot of kudos for this, because he really put the Lions in a position to win either way when it comes with this. Because let's look at this. You got Jared Goff. If you extend him, you got that $22 million in base salary over here that we were looking at, that I highlight right there. There's that's what can be converted to signing bonus. So the advantage to extending him is that you can go and get some of that money, and you can get some of that money to use in this year, and however much that you want to throw in there. Now, the advantage to not signing him is this part right here, where over here on this side where the
dead money cap. You froze. Yeah, so I trust Jeremy Risdon. He's never given us bad info before. You back, Russ?
Yeah.
Are you back?
Okay, I'm back.
You froze for a minute. Last thing you said was this number over here.
Well, that number over there is the cap savings. So if he lets him play out this year, right? There's no guaranteed money on this contract. That it's already counting $32 million against the cap. So that's not going to hurt your cap. You already got your quarterback. And then at the end of the year, if you want to extend him, you could just franchise tag him, get him for the extra year if you needed another year for Hooker. But that's what they sound like. That's what they sound like. That's what they want to be able to do. It's one of the scenarios that's out there. And it's actually probably a scenario that a lot of people like, because the word around the campfire is that Hendon Hooker is pretty damn good. He is pretty damn accurate. And he's going to be a solid backup. If not, I mean, I couldn't see them moving on from Goff. Going that far, but them not extending them, I mean, I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. I like Goff, but I understand why they wouldn't extend him if they don't.
Right, and the salary cap being increased is a big bonus too, because now you don't really need to free up all that money when you're
Right.
getting an extra, what is it, 25 million or something they're going to get now? That's another player. Darnell here in the comments says, if they do extend Goff, will they use that extra money to get a big name in free agency? Well, I think they could do that now without extending Goff, Darnell.
Well, I mean, they're helping us right here. So let's go in and talk about some of that. Because this is one of the biggest conversations that we actually have on our page right now, where we threw this. It was just a rumor. This is just whoever's talking. I don't even know who Eli Joker is, but it was the context of this. He's set to be a free agent. He just followed the Detroit Lions. Will he take Detroit Lions to the next level? Yes, he would. That Chris Jones is big of a force in the middle anywhere, and you stick him next to Lee McNeil, you are instantaneously a game wrecking team. It takes your defense to another level. What are your thoughts on the Chris Jones rumor here, man?
Put Chris Jones next to Lee McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson on the other end, and draft a stud pass rusher on the other end with the core linebackers that we have. But the real weakness of this team is secondary. I would rather see them personally not sign Chris Jones, and for several reasons. One of them is week 1 of last week when he was a holdout. We saw him up in the press box watching the game, having drinks. Just doesn't seem like a Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell kind of guy. They say it all the time. We like football players. We want guys who love ball. Those high character guys. Doesn't seem to me that Chris Jones is that, but he certainly is a game wrecker, one of the best D linemen in the league, unequivocally, unquestionably one of the best D tackles in the league. And at 20, if you can get him at 20 million a year, when you get that boon that's coming from the salary cap increase, you can afford him. But personally, I'd like to see them draft the edge rusher or a defensive line, pass rush help in the draft, and I'd like to see them sign some of these corners that are out there, because you can get some of these corners on a 2-year, 3-year deal. Xavier Howard, Stephon Gilmore,
right?
The secondary is where we are the weakest, okay? Period. That's the biggest area of need. I'd like to see it get a free agent there and then draft on the D-line personally.
But here's something to consider right here is because of this extra salary cap, we've never really had this much money in this stacked of a team going into any type of free agency before. $57 million, especially when you have more money available from like a Taylor Decker or a Jared Goff extension. If you're going to do that, you could even get more money when it comes with that. And somebody like Chris Jones, you're not going to wreck your future to bring a guy like this in. I mean, any one of these guys, let's say it's not Chris Jones. Let's just say it's Snead, or one of these other high priority free agency guys. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, any one of these guys is going to cost, a pretty penny. But I think Brad Holmes is going to sign the guy that is willing to play ball, like with how, hey, I'm going to give you a 2-year deal with a bunch of guaranteed money up, and we're going to go all in with this, and they're going to keep their core together. They're not going to do anything to mess with the core and the guys that they're drafting. They're not going to give up a bunch of draft capital to bring in some guy from the outside or something like the Lattimore rumors that are out there. I don't think they're going to spend draft capital to bring a guy in and pay him. They want to pay the guys that are on the inside. They want to, if you're going to pay somebody big money, pay Amon-Ra St. Brown, the guy whom you drafted from the first draft class. Give him the bag. Give Penei Sewell the bag when it comes with that. But one guy, give me
interesting.
Snead, Jones, give me one of those guys.
Interesting that you put up Kendall Fuller and L'Jarius Sneed, and then I mentioned Stephon Gilmore and Xavier Howard. Kendall Fuller, L'Jarius Sneed, they don't have a big enough sample size for me. Sneed had a great year last year. Kendall Fuller, last 2 years, he's been solid. Kendall Fuller's going to come with a better price tag than the other guys, too. He's not as, right, there he is. He is not as high profile a corner. So, and the average fan probably doesn't know as much about him. I just don't think Snead and Fuller have a big enough sample size. You look at Stephon Gilmore and Xavier Howard. These two guys are veterans. We know exactly what we're getting. Team captains, by the way. There's that common thread again. So I like those two better than the two that you've got up here. But obviously Kendall Fuller might be a smidge cheaper.
Yeah, I like Kendall Fuller. I like the everything but the size. But he's got the age. He's not too old. He's right in that sweet spot. Or this Ichidobe Awuzie would be cool too if they could get these guys. How do you say his name?
Chidobe.
Chidobe.
Chidobe. Shatter. It's it's a Rolling Stones thing. But yeah, that's the guy, that Awuzie guy and Adoree Jackson. Those are the guys Jeremy B likes.
Yeah, and to me, whatever one's going to come in and play play ball with Brad Holmes, because Brad Holmes ain't going to pay $17 million for this guy. He ain't going to pay Chris Jones $30 million. So don't get this in your head that Brad Holmes would do that. I don't think that he will. But if Chris Jones wants to come in for a $20 million deal with some incentives to go along with it, I'm trying to win another Super Bowl, that type of thing, that's the type of high-end guy. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that was a one-year deal. You're bringing in a guy with a lot of talent, maybe a little bit of an attitude problem, like you alluded to a little bit earlier. Sitting on the sideline in the first game, man, I want to get my contract. Yeah, but to get a high-end guy, if you've already built your core of all your, your super leaders and stuff, you're not bringing in Chris Jones to lead your team. You're bringing him in to wreck the damn game. Like, that's what I want. If you're bringing in Snead, you're not bringing him in as the future of your franchise. You're bringing him in because I want to win a title next year. And with 57 million reasons that you can make your team better. And you look at this, we're in a position right here. The window is officially open, Detroit Lions fans, for Super Bowl every year. You and I talked about this last year, Mike, when they brought in Chauncey Gardner. It was like, we're going to see this every single year. They're going to fill the roster up, and then they're going to bring in a couple super studs on a 1 or 2 year deal that doesn't cripple the franchise long term to go all in. These guys will come in cheaper if they think they can win a title.
This is what contending teams do.
Yep.
When they're a piece or 2 pieces away from getting over the hump, they bring in a high-profile free agent for a 1 or 2 year deal. Fred Peterson agrees with you. Don't want to give one free agent player the bag when we have plenty of players here that deserve the bag.
Correct. Think about that first draft class. You got Aleem McNeil, Kirby Joseph, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Amon-Ra St. Brown. All these guys deserve a bag. All these guys came in and did and even Derek Barnes. You can't pay all these guys. But here's another game that they can play too is if these guys walk in free agency, let's say they re-sign one of them and then they let all the other ones walk. They let Derek Barnes, Ifeatu, and Aleem McNeil walk. Well, that's 3 compensatory picks that they're going to get if they go sign with another team and sign a multi-year deal. So they can also play that game. Mm-hmm. So I love it. I love it because you build through the draft. We have a general manager that can actually draft players. And it's exciting time to be a Lions fan.
Mm-hmm. Ricky says, I feel like that entire Commander secondary was bad last year. I'm a little scared that Kendall Fuller might not be any different than Cam Sutton. Right, Ricky? Like a CB2. Like Cam Sutton, not a CB1. We don't pay him like one.
Right.
So, we're looking for a number 1 corner. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, and there's some guys that are in there. We can look at these guys. Let me pull this up for you guys again, because I love doing stuff like this, because you put it into perspective like this, and then you can actually see where these guys are ranked. It's not the end all be all, but this is a guy that you like, Stephon Gilmore. He's a little bit older at 34 years old, but but look at those scores over the last 3 years.
The former NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
He's got the pedigree and he's consistent. That 71, 79, 77. Maybe he did regress a little bit last year. Steven Nelson. I don't know a lot about him. Looks like he was they have that brand new team over there in Houston. So he may just be a cap casualty now that they have all those young guys. Adoree Jackson, that's the one that you'd like. I like this deal here.
That's the one Jeremy B likes, is Adoree Jackson.
That I would have no issues if the Lions went out and signed Adoree Jackson, because he's not too old, but he's old enough that teams have given up on him. And that's fast. 5'11" isn't what you really want. He didn't have a good year last year, which means that you could probably get him on the cheap. So these are the guys that are available. Could we steal Casey?
No, he's an all-pro return man. They're not going to let him get out of Green Bay.
And there's Emmanuel Mosley here. I mean,
two ACLs is enough for me on Mosley. We got some people in the comments that would like to see him come back. It's personally 2 ACLs, and he's played a few snaps. Nah, going to pass on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing Ronald Darby. I mean, I had heard somebody make a good, like a combo thing where you go get Kendall Fuller and like a Ronald Darby at the same time.
Right.
Really solidified. Was that you that brought that up?
No, I don't think so. But that is a narrative that's going out there. Instead of that high profile, expensive CB1, you get some of these ascending guys who are CB2s, and you try to develop it, because the Lions have proven they can develop players. Right.
Right. And with the Cam Sutton thing, it's like you want experience in the secondary guy. I know that, you want to see us go draft a guy at 29th, make sure, but guys in their first year, especially at cornerback, when you're trying to get them the guard, that's not a smart recipe if you're going to try to draft the guy to start. I would like to see them go out and get experience from the cornerback position and use the draft capital on the big dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Get me some offensive and defensive linemen that you got on the rookie deals that you're building through. Get some young cornerbacks that you can develop behind, Sutton and these 2 free agents, because that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to bring in 2 guys that are as good or better than Sutton, and that's going to be the top end of the depth chart. And then they're going to draft a couple guys too. And they're
what are your thoughts on Emmanuel Mosley?
I think you get him for nothing for him to stay, and he's already here. You ain't going to have him next year anyway. So long as it ain't too expensive.
He hasn't played in 2 years though. Blew out both ACLs. The guy saw fewer plays than Abraham Lincoln. So, I mean, I can't see. I mean, even if you're getting him for a bag of Doritos, he's taking up a roster spot where we could develop a guy who could be something.
I mean, he may be taking up a roster spot, but didn't he end the year? He would begin the year on injured reserve. So he wouldn't actually take up the roster spot. But there was things that I was reading last year on Emmanuel Mosley, even after the second injury, that he was very helpful to the team in preparation and stuff like that. And I value stuff like that, and they may value stuff like that. So as long as he ain't charging your arm and a leg, you got another good set of eyes on every game plan and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind it. I don't mind the Emmanuel Mosley thing one bit.
Nobody's going to pay him big money after blowing out 2 ACLs and not playing in 2 years. So if you're going to get him, you'd get him on the cheap. So I get there is something there. And the talent level, he was smashing when he blew out his first knee and was coming to Detroit. We were excited about it. But then I think it was 1 or 2 plays, he was done.
They're saying $4 million a year. I don't think he would charge $4 million a year. That's definitely cheaper than he was going for.
Oh, you see that there? He took 2 snaps.
Yeah, 2 snaps. Yep. That's too bad. And then let's look at some of these. Jordan Lewis, 173, Fulton. I think these guys, I mean, this 25 years old, this is the guy you take a flyer on. Christian Fulton. I don't even know anything about the guy, but that just seems like a Brad Holmes thing to do, right? Guy going into the second contract.
How tall are these guys? That's important to me for the CB1.
5'11".
5'11", the standard for a corner.
Right.
You know, you find one 6'2" that's long and fast, and you got something.
Yeah, most of these guys are under 6 foot.
5'11" is the standard for a corner.
It looks like it. That's exactly what they are too. 5'9". There you go.
Whoa.
This guy, Miles Bryant's probably the most talented corner out of all of them right there, but he's so short that, you know. Three. Sean Murphy Bunting. 6 foot. There you go. There's the Brad Holmes guy. No.
That extra inch.
Inches matter. Okay. Well, that's a little bit of a look right there at the cornerback room. Again, that's just free agency. That's what's out there in free agency. Let's see what else I have on here. Right there, like that. Brad Holmes. I mean, this was that thing I was bringing up from earlier. I couldn't find it, but pretty insane that 21.7% of the Lions draft picks have been Pro Bowlers. He's only been in the league drafting people for 3 years. 3 years. You got, and 21% of your draft picks are Pro Bowlers. Yeah,
Fred.
That is funny. That's disgusting.
No, Fred over here cracking me up. I'm 5'11" with an 8-minute 40 time. Think I got a chance? I'll only charge a bag of chips and we'll be set for life.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to ink Fred Peterson to a lifetime contract. It cost me 11 bags of Doritos. Oh gosh, the 2024 opponents way too early. Yeah, we can kick all those teams' asses. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Chad says, I'll say it again. We're not drafting at 29. I'm 100 on it.
He's got $100 on it. He's bet it. He's already bet it. We aren't drafting 29. I got to agree with you, Chad. My gut tells me Brad is moving up. Big Brad home. Bad Brad is moving up in this draft because he's going to target a guy that he likes, maybe Jared Verse, the rusher from Florida State, right?
Hey, Chad, let me ask you this. Do you still win if they trade down? Yeah, because I think there's a possibility of that too, that Brad could trade down. Because when you get down to that end of the first round, what they like to do with teams, like if there's still 2 of those quarterbacks that are left, some of those second round guys want to pop up into the first round to get that 5th year on that quarterback. So they may throw some cheese on it and Brad be like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do it unless you give me all your draft picks. And then he's going to like,
It's my quarterback.
oh my gosh. Sarah says, damn, I'm still in YouTube jail. You can't make comments at all.
Did you freeze, Russ?
All right. Am I frozen still?
No.
We have connection is fairly good. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into the router or moving. Well, I am plugged into the router. You butthole.
Chad says if Brad's guy is gone, we trade back. So do you still win the 100 is what Russ is asking. Is the bet that they won't pick at 29 or is the bet that they'll move up from 29?
Yeah.
That's what we want to know.
Yeah, and I like your take of moving up because, you know, he usually identifies less than 32 first round, you know, game-changing players. Said there's only a handful of that. So, I think there's a good chance because you can get another game changer, and we don't have a ton of roster spots, especially with 57 million in free agents. They're going to fill a lot of this roster in free agency. Bet is not draft at 29. Okay, Sarah. I like that.
Chad says they won't pick at 29, period. That's the bet. So that's a pretty good bet. I like that bet.
I do.
He might move up or he could move back. This is a loaded draft. What they're saying, this is a loaded draft. There's a lot of day 2 gems is what they're saying.
What I want to show everybody right here, if you got some time right here, is because we've hit this a little bit last week, but I want to go do it again. Interior guards and centers. All right, share this tab. All right, let's get these in here. I'm gonna add this in here. So this is why I think they may trade back, and for some reason I think that they're going to be targeting some of these guys because there's quite a bit of these interior offensive linemen, and Jackson Powers Johnson, Zach Frazier, and Cedric Van Prawn. All of these guys, I've read a little bit on them, have position versatility. So I have a feeling that Brad Holmes is going to go into the draft with the intention on getting one or two of these versatile offensive linemen. And as you can see in the overall PFF rank, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm not going to almost in the top 100, but if you add him right there, then
how about that? A safety from Arkansas, that Bo Limmer, that's where Ragnow went to college. Maybe we draft Ragnow's replacement from the same school. Does it project what round he'll be drafted?
I don't think they do that until after they do the combine.
Okay.
Well, it looks like he's been dropping. But anyway, when you're looking at these guys, I mean, they got 4 top 100 picks. And usually when you got these, I mean, if you...
You froze again. I agree with you, Sarah. Penix injuries are too concerning for me. No thanks. Same here.
Thank you for jumping on that, Mike. If you want to take the lead a little bit on this, if I keep on freezing,
if you freeze, I'll just jump in and I won't. It's
Good afternoon, Robert. Good afternoon, Sarah. I mean, I know that I've been talking to you, and one funky Lions fan, and Ricky. What's up, Ricky? I don't know if we paid any attention to your comment from before, and Darnell, that's looking good right there.
Yeah, we put both of their comments up.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm going back through. I don't want to leave anybody out anymore, man. After I don't want anybody to leave feeling like we. I mean, this is about the people. This is about the people. We like having these football conversations. Who would you like to see the Lions draft? I mean, how about you, Sarah? Yeah, I know you're a Minnesota Viking fan. Where would you like to see them pick the quarterback? I heard a trade rumor where they would trade Justin Jefferson to the Chicago Bears for the number 1 overall pick. Would you do that? Number 1, moving up, getting the number 1 overall pick for Justin Jefferson? We ain't trading JJ. That gets Sarah all fired up. She believes like I believe. When you got a guy like Justin Jefferson, you don't let that dude get out of the building. You pay that dude. Pay that man.
I mean, let's face it. When JJ came in, they let Stephon Diggs go, a bona fide number 1 receiver, and they let him go because they knew what they had in JJ. Now with Jordan Addison, you might be looking at the same thing, Sarah, where we don't think that we can pay a receiver $30 million when we have a number 1 receiver on our roster on a rookie deal. Don't dismiss it that fast. The Vikings absolutely could deal JJ when you have Jordan Addison sitting there on the bench.
And Sarah says Chicago would be dumb to do that.
They're Chicago.
I mean, I don't know if they'd be dumb to do that. I mean, DJ Moore and Justin Jefferson and whoever they have throwing quarterback that they can get at 9. I mean, It's looking like they're going to be trading Justin Fields. I know that I got laughed out by all these Bear fans. Yeah, you don't know nothing about the Bears. They're never going to trade Justin Fields. Oh my God. Well, they might trade Justin Fields. And what are you going to come? And they won't come on here. They won't come correct. They never do.
And Sarah's point is, you don't give your
but-
divisional rival, the Bears, that is the Vikings, a chance to get a franchise generational quarterback. So it has less to do with JJ than it does to let their division rival move up to the number one spot to get their quarterback. So
I mean,
that's a great point, Sarah. Great point.
Yeah, Sarah, what would make you think Chicago would ever do that? CJ Stroud. What would ever make you think that Chicago would do that, Patrick Mahomes? Why would Chicago do something that stupid? Because they're Chicago. That's why. Because they're Chicago. Diggs was traded because he was unhappy.
Well, yeah, but also because JJ was there. You know, if he was unhappy and they had no depth at receiver, then he's just going to be on the team unhappy.
Yeah, but then you start thinking of the power right there. I can't see how they would let JJ get out of there. I don't know. I don't know who.
Let's guess what Russ was going to say next. I don't know who.
I don't know who.
There we go. There you're back.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know which quarterback that they would take if they went up to number one.
Sarah says Diggs was traded to get JJ, but I don't believe that's true, Sarah. They were on the same team his rookie year. JJ's rookie year wasn't. Yeah. Stephon Diggs was there when JJ was a rookie, or the other way around. Yeah. When JJ was a rookie, Stephon Diggs was there. They played 1 year together. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Well, I mean, I'm going to trust Sarah because she's
she's a Vikings fan. All
she's
right,
a Viking fan.
She says no, they weren't.
Okay.
Right. What do I know?
Fred. When Fred comes up, I just read over the weekend 2 draft prediction. They have both Minnesota trading up for quarterbacks. Number 1, Drake May, and I don't remember the other one. Yeah, there's 5 good quarterbacks. And we can look at that too. We might as well go in there. Let's take a look at that. Let's get these guys. Pow. Get these guard out of there. Get the quarterbacks, and let's look at it. Pow. There we go. The quarterbacks. I mean, they got these guys. They're Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., and even Spencer Rattler made his way back in.
Mm-hmm.
And
a lot of people think Spencer Rattler's the best quarterback in this draft.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks that are rated in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that you're going to see at least 2 of these go in the first round. You're probably going to see 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think someone's going to come up and get these guys.
Mel Kiper has 3 in the first round.
But even if they don't go in the first round, I mean, you're going to see them at the top of the second round. And this is why it's such a when you're looking at where these guys are ranked, this is that 29 ends up becoming a pretty good spot to trade up right there, because that 5th year option means everything. If you're drafting a franchise quarterback or a franchise player. I mean, think about that. Like, Penei Sewell does not need to be extended this year. And as much as everybody wants to throw it up on the top of the chopping block, they can pick up the 5th year option at $19 million. And then he's good all the way, not through 24, but through 25 as well. That's why you get the 5th year option. You got 1 extra year to worry about that. And that way they can worry about Amon-Ra St. Brown and Aleem McNeil and Ifatu and Barnes this year, because they don't have that 5th year to lean back on. So, I mean, Jaden Daniels, maybe JJ McCarthy, some of these top end guys that didn't take a quarterback up in the front. This might be a spot where Chicago does it. You know, If they trade out and they get JJ on the team and they don't pick a quarterback at 9, maybe they take the best offensive lineman. Maybe they come back into the first round to get their quarterback. I mean, who knows? I mean, Michael Penix Jr.
He froze again. Michael Penix Jr.
Reminds me of Michael Penix Jr. He was widely considered maybe the top quarterback prospect during half the year, and then things all move around. But a lot of these guys are close.
I would not draft Jaden Daniels. I just wouldn't. I mean, if you go back and look at the Arizona game, I mean, the guy, I didn't even think he should have won the Heisman. Michael Penix should have won the Heisman.
Right. But you look at these sizes, there's not anybody that's really these.
I like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix from Oregon. What is Drake May 6'4"? I didn't realize. I don't know anything about Drake May.
So, I mean, you look at that stereotypical. I mean, that he's a quarterback, 6'4", 230 pounds. I mean, I wonder what his 40 is going to be, right?
He's the same measurables as. Oh, he's a little heavier than Jared Goff, so he's a little thicker than Jared Goff, but same height. I don't know much about him.
Has the Jared Goff build a little bit. 6'4", 210.
Yep, but he's a runner.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Number 1 quarterback in college football right there, according to PFF, 94.7 on the season grade.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's J.J. McCarthy, too. J.J. McCarthy maybe came out a year early.
I think so.
I mean, if you just look at him in just the straight sizes, he looks, just from size-wise, he looks like he's a year behind everybody.
And when you watch him play, too, he seems pressured. He feels the pressure. He gets happy feet. His decision-making is a little slow. I think he needed another year as well. We're talking about him in a second round. Now they're talking about him moving up into the first round. If he stayed another year, he'd be a top 5 prospect.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he can get there. Maybe he can get to a top 5 prospect because you don't know. I mean, we go into the combine. If the kid runs a 4.5 40 or something and starts slinging the ball all over and starts showing accuracy because they didn't ask him to do much. Michigan was more of a running team that played defense. He handed the ball off a lot and they won a lot of games that way. And it seemed like when you pressed against McCarthy that he did make some spectacular throws and, do some things if you put him up against it. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe one of these guys will step out. Sarah says McCarthy has the best throws on the run. Maybe Sarah's thinking, wow, maybe Minnesota can get JJ McCarthy in the second round. And then we could have JJ to JJ, right? Fred Peterson said, I also think that JJ got screwed with Harbaugh leaving, so he went to the draft. Yeah, that probably might have had something to do with it. If Harbaugh went to JJ behind closed doors and said, hey, man, I don't think I'm going to be staying, probably take a coaching job, and then he declared for the draft. That's possible. I like that. How much will that number 1 pick actually cost? Well, if you're giving up the best wide receiver in the league, that should tell you, because if you just tried to trade to get Justin Jefferson right now, you would probably have to give up a 1, some 2s. You'd have to give up some capital. It would look even worse than the Tyreek Hill trade. Didn't they get a 1, a 2? Didn't they get a couple 1s out of that? Out of Tyreek Hill? Do you know?
I don't know. That wasn't a trade for draft picks. He was a free agent, and they let him go to Miami, right? They didn't re-sign him. They let Miami sign him.
No, Miami traded to get Tyreek.
I didn't know that.
Okay. You know what? You may be right. It was either that or Jalen or Jalen Ramsey. One of the two was definitely traded.
Tyreek's trade got 5 picks in trade, is what Sarah's saying.
Can look at that, and
I'd have to
I
look that
think
one up.
that JJ's better. I think
JJ's the best receiver in the league.
Well, he's right. I mean, so is Tyreek Hill. I mean, we're talking. These guys are both bona fide superstars that are number one, change your franchise type of players. Anybody that gets these guys, I mean. Who was the quarterback last year for Minnesota?
Kurt Mullins.
Mullins. Yeah.
Nick Mullins.
Mullins, throw it off your back foot, chuck it up there, and then watch JJ work.
Into triple coverage.
JJ is going into his prime. JJ is going into his prime. I mean, he's amazing. I mean, you watch him work, and it's amazing because I hate it. I have to watch you be awesome against my team, and it's not good. It's not good. Well,
Russ,
it may be.
Thanks for having me on, Russ. I got a jet. Is that cool?
That's cool.
God
I'll
bless
finish
you all.
it up.
Main Event Mike. Peace out.
That's Main Event Mike right there, and I
gotta be sure not to click the button that says end stream, but click the button that says leave studio. Main Event Mike, I'm out. Bye.
That's Main Event Mike. And this is the off-season. This is the off-season edition of Football Talk with Russell Wayne. And we're here. We're here every day. At least during the week. We have football content coming to you 365 days a year. So I would encourage you to go over to the Villain Squad's Facebook page. Give us a follow. Give us a share. If you're watching this video right now, can you please give us a like? Like the video that you're watching right now because it helps us out. And if you like football, then why wouldn't you like this program? 365-day-a-year schedule, and we're right in the thick of it. We're right in the thick of it. This is my favorite type of the year. Tomorrow, we'll start the scouting combine, where all 32 teams team transformed with these transcendent players. These guys that are going to turn them into Super Bowl contenders. Which guys is that for you? Football Talk with Russell Wayne is an affiliate marketing partner with NFL Shop. Click the link in the description. Use promo code NFL15 to get free shipping. And you can get some cool stuff like that 2023 NFC North Championship plaque for our Detroit Lions. Gotta like that.
You like that?
You like that.
You like that?
Join us each and every morning with Jeremy B, Smoking Jeremy B, starting us out at 11 a.m. And then we have the afternoon show starting at 3 p.m. So all my West Coast people can get on. Faith, family, and football. Make sure you join us tomorrow when we come in. We're going to talk more of this free agency. We're going to talk about this combine. Who's standing out within this combine? Who do you want to see the Lions get? Who do you want to see them pick up in free agency? Brad Holmes spoke to the media today at the combine, gave a little insight, didn't give up too much. But faith, family, and football. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Faith, family, and football. You can use the link in our description. our giving link. And Pastor Kevin Galloway at NTC Church is doing a fantastic job serving the community, trying to help people that need it. The outreach is a real deal. So if you're using that link, thank you for helping us out with our outreach. Faith, family, and football. Family and football, that's easy. We just watch football and we enjoy it and we spend time with our family. We use football. Use football to spend time with your family. Don't let football use you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow afternoon for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Peace out.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.